In this tutorial I'll be going through the sketches. So in the last tutorial I told you that if you want to make a sketch, then we need a plane. So I choose the front plane and just enter sketch mode here. So let's just go through these tools, and the first tool that you are seeing is line. So when you click on the little arrow, it will tell you multiple ways to draw a line. The first one is a line, the simple one. Here what you do, you get 2 points of a line, the first one and the second one, then you draw a line. So if when you complete a line, then still you can make a third point, then again it will draw a line between them, and then again a fourth one. So if you click back to the first point or any of these, then it will actually close the particular geometry. For example, if I click here, the geometry will be closed. Now we have made you can say a shape. For example, if you just want to make a single line, you click here and you just right click and click on select, and we are out of the line selection. And one other thing that you can do, you just click here when you are actually going for the drawing of line. You click here. Now you can draw again a line which we have seen here. Now if you want to draw an arc, what you do, you again go back to this one and you are switch to the arc mode. Now you can see we can draw an arc. So you can drop it anywhere. I am dropping here. So you can see I have made an arc. So with the help of line tool, you can make a line shape, and also you can make an arc. Let's go to the second type of line tool, that is a center line. So with the help of it, you just click at a point and you draw a center line. Center line is basically you can see it. First of all, it is in dotted lines are the construction lines which help you in making the sketches. They are not included in your sketch, so you don't you will not find them in your drawing sketches. These are just for the help purpose. And the next line is the midpoint line, which just requires the midpoint, and you just give it a length and it will be drawn. So these were our line tools. Just select all of them and press delete, and let's check our next one, that is the circle. So we can draw a circle in two ways. The first one is first you define a center. I will advise you always choose the origin for the center of your drawing while you are drawing sketches. So you click here and then you move your mouse and you can see the variation of radius. Now when you're done, you can just leave it here and your circle will be done. The next circle is actually a perimeter circle. In perimeter circle, you have to define 3 points. So with the help of 3 points, a circle is drawn. When you click for the first time, the first point of the circle is defined, and you click again, the second point is defined, which is here. And when you click on the third time, then your circle is actually made. So there are 2 ways of making circles. Let's go to rectangle. So there are actually 5 ways of drawing. 4 ways of rectangle and 1 parallelogram. So rectangles are simple, 2 corners. You just click one time, one corner will be made, and the second time the second corner. Next is center rectangle. The center is made, and then you, according to your need, you just leave it for the corner. Next is 3-point corner. You define 3 corners, click, and you're done. The last one, second last is 3-point center rectangle. First you define the center, then you're done. And the last one is actually a parallelogram. So I'm zooming out using our central mouse button key, and just you can see the angles. Now I have made my rectangle. Now I am zooming out again, and if you want to make an arc, there are 3 ways. The first is a center point arc. So at first you define the center point, then you define the radius, then you decide how much is the arc length do you want, and you're done. The next is a tangent arc. So if you want to draw a tangent arc, you will have to define 2 points out of sketch. For example, I choose this one and I can choose this one, and it is made, and I can do it anywhere. For example, I can make a here. Now the next one is 3-point arc. It's like a circle, like 3-point circle. You just pick it here and you just give it. Now we have a 3-point arc. Next is a slot. For making slots, we have multiple options. I will cover just single one for the straight tall slot. You click here and you just come here. First you define the axis of the slot and you then just move it according to your needs. And the next is for the polygons. If you want to make a polygon, you can see here I have making a hexagon. Now if you want to increase the number of sides of this particular hexagon, you can choose here. You can change the number of sides from here, whatever the number of sides you want, and you can change the dimension. X and Y present the position. You can see I am changing the position of it. You can send the radius from here. You can change the angle. So various options are there. Now the ellipse is left here. If you want to draw a ellipse, let's see how many ways. So you can draw ellipse, partial ellipse, parabola and conics. I will show you just the ellipse. So just click on ellipse and click, and you can make an ellipse. So I will recommend you just do a random practice and you will learn a lot how to draw shapes, because in the end sketching is the first step for any 3D model. Next is for making curves. Though the first one is a spline. I click here at a particular point, I choose the next point, I choose the next point. So it will keep on making a curve which passes through these points. When you are done, just right click and select, and I have a sketch. I can change the shape according to my need, whatever I want. Now next is just a point. If you want to put a point somewhere in a space, and you can just do it. Texts I will cover later. So we are basically done here. Now one of the questions that will come into your mind, that these look like a random shapes. What if you have to give dimensions to them? So for giving dimension, you just click on smart dimensions, or you can decide basically, like if you want to give horizontal dimension, which is this one, you can select horizontal dimension here and you can give it. Then click again and it will ask for the value. Now you put your value over here and press enter. I am leaving it to default. Now instead of doing horizontal, vertical and all of these stuff, you can just go for the smart dimension. It will automatically pick up. For example, I can click here and change the radius of it. I can increase it or decrease it, whatever I want, and then I just click on it. So you can choose the dimensions. So when you apply a dimension to a particular mode, then you can also change its position. You click on the dimension, you just drag it wherever you want, wherever you want it to be comfortable, and this is how you do. Now the next thing is, for the dimensions part, basically we are done. Next thing is that the construction lines, and this is pretty important. Now we have drawn this particular rectangle, and you can see that we have these dotted lines, and these four are not actually dotted, these are solid lines. So what happens is that our main sketch, which will be visible, are in solid, and the construction sketches are those sketches which are just made for the help. For example, if I want to make something like this, for example, and I have to remove this, because so what you do, just click on it and select for construction, and it will be gone, and your whole shape will be this outer section. So this is what we do. So if we can also make construction lines, you make a line and you just select for construction, and in the initially that we have discussed, in this case center line, it actually draws the construction line. These are all the construction lines. So we are done here with the sketching part. Next is the trim part. If you want to remove a certain part of any sketch. So what do? So let's just delete all of this and let's make something which is appropriate. So I will just choose the line tool and I will keep drawing a very simple shape. Okay, now yes, so you can see I just drawn a shape. Basically I don't know what it is, but it is something. So next task is I want to trim, for example, okay, let's do something that we can trim. Yes, let's just make some random lines here and okay, just pick it here, make it here, like something like that. And what if I want to draw a line through on this line and make it something like that? Okay, so you can see a lot of random stuff is going on and I want to delete, for example, 1 2 3, these 3 lines I want to delete. Now you can just go to trim entities. You can choose, the best one is actually the power trim. What you can do, you just have click and you can see a shape is made. So wherever it will pass, the particular shape will get deleted. So if I pass it through here, it will get deleted. It's also getting deleted, and this is how it works. So if you want to delete a particular shape, a part of any sketch, you can go for the power trim. Power trim is basically you just pass it through and it will delete that particular selection of your sketch. Pressing Ctrl Z for the undo. Now just another thing is there are multiple modes for the corner, trim events, and you can go for all of them. Another is a trim to closest. So it just works on it wherever you will click and the closest shape will be get deleted, and this is how it works. So trim to closest, and you can see another option, keep trimmed entities as a construction geometry. So if you want to keep this particular shape, the inside, you can just click here and you can see it is here as a construction part. So this is pretty much useful. So trimmed entities is basically used to delete the extra shapes that we make while making one. Now converted entities, these two we will discuss on when we will be making our 3D models. Now after discussing these and these, next comes the mirror entities. So for example, I have made this shape and I want a mirror of it right down here. So I make another line here in the center. So I made a line and I want a mirror of this on this side. So what we do, we just click on the blank space, go to mirror entities. Now you can see there are two options. The first one says entities to mirror. So what are the things that you want to copy? You can just click here and drag and select all of your parts. Okay, now mirror about is like you select the particular line through which you want to copy and click. Now you can see there is a mirror of it. Now you can actually decide whether you want to make a copy of it or you want to move it. If I just click remove it, then you will have just this one. And pressing Ctrl Z and I'm go back to the original one. And if I just want, okay, if I just want a copy of it along with this one, so I can have both. Okay, I did just a mistake here. I want to mirror about line 67. Okay, and you press enter and we are here. Now, okay, the mirroring that we know right now, press Ctrl Z again. Now next thing I'm gonna teach you is the linear sketch pattern. If you want to make this shape like 10 times, so there are two ways. The first one is you make it 10 times manually. Otherwise there is a way that you can just pattern it. It will take few seconds and it will be done. So you can go for the axes. You can see the x-axis is along this side and y-axis is on upward side. So you decide how many copies do you want. Now first you put the values, entities to pattern, what are the things that you want to copy. So you just select it. So when you're done selecting, you can change the distance. At what distance do you want to see the copies? Here you can decide how many copies do you want to see, and so on. For example, we wanted 10, you just put here 10 and it's done. And you can also make it at a particular angle, and you can see it is rotating at an angle, but I want it at a 0. So okay, and we are at a 0. You can put your values here. Now if you want also to have the copies along the y-axis, you can just change your values here. Okay, you'll have to change the distance, and you can see we have it, right? Now you can just choose the quantities. Now this is how you make shapes. You can make hundreds of them without wasting any time. So this is all about the sketches. Okay, so this is about the actually linear sketch pattern, and I'm not gonna save it, so I will just go back here. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to discuss is the circular pattern. What if we want this particular drawing in circular sketches form? So what you do, you just go to the entities pattern, you select your parts, and you just keep selecting it. Now when you're done selecting, and you can remove a point, just right click and delete. For example, if I want to make the pattern around this particular point, then you just click on it, and the radius of that particular circle will be equal to the difference between the distance between this point and the sketch. Okay, so it will be actually the minimum distance. Now you can choose how many parts do you want. You can see the number of parts are changing. You can also, actually we cannot change the distance here because it is actually fixed here. Now it's done. Yes, now you can change the angle if you want a little bit of angle, right? So this is about it. So we are done with the circular pattern, and the next thing is you can see that our sketch is actually fixed at the origin, this particular point. Now if you want to move it, what we can do, you can just select your sketch, go to the move entities, and you can choose from and to first of all. So now you can see we are moving it, but I don't use it. Actually this becomes pretty much hectic for me. I choose mostly the XY, and I just select it and I just change the shape what I want. Now if you look at it, you can see the shape of our drawing is changing, but there is something that we can do that the shape doesn't change, and you can see in the bottom that it is written under defined. So our sketch is not defined, and let me just delete this line and we will define the sketch. So you can see these two lines are in black and these are in I will also delete these, this one also, and I will add a line here. Okay, so you can see we have a closed shape now, but still when you look here, these two are in black and these are in blue. So what happens there, these two lines are actually fixed about origin, but this is not fixed, so I can still change these value. So we'll have to define the sketch so that it remains same. So there are two ways to doing this, and we follow both of them. The first is actually assigning the dimensions. So more the dimensions we assign, better we get. So if we define the dimensions for all of the sides, for example this one also, you can do it the vertical distance or the horizontal distance or whatever you want, you can do it. Just if you decide dimensions for all of them, I'm just giving the default. Okay, so right now you can see that there are still it is in blue line, so we will try to just move the diagram, and you can see dimensions are still, the dimension that we have defined like 0.24, 0.09, 0.15, it is still there, but still the shape is changing. Now what you see that these two dimensions are not defined, so what you can do, you can just go over there and define these dimensions also. Now you can just give them a dimensions. and now we are in black because all of the dimensions are defined and it says fully defined. Now there are a few things which you should know. A must is that you can also define the angular dimensions. To do that, you select two lines and you can see you can define the angular dimensions. Now you can just change it, or I can change it like this and press enter, and then you can see it is changed. And another thing, so this is all with the dimensions, so you can put a lot of dimensions here. And the next thing which is very important is, let me just remove this dimension and let me tell you an easy way to do this. So sometimes we work with a large dimensions, large sketches, and we have to apply make them fully defined. So it's not a good practice to just apply dimension. There are some obvious relations that we can provide. For example, in our sketch, these two lines have to be equal, and these this particular and this particular and has to be equal also, and this section and this section, these are the collinear lines, they are in the same lines. This is perpendicular, so we can apply some relations on it. To do that, click on add relation, and for example, if I want to make this line and this line equal, I select these two and it shows all the relations that we can apply. For example, we cannot apply it horizontal because it is a vertical line, so we can apply it the vertical. And if you see, there is a vertical hash line, so the symbol of vertical is this, a vertical line that is already applied here. So we can apply parallel, so these two are parallel, and we can also make them equal. So what happens when we do the equal thing is, even if we apply a dimension to a single line, other line will already become equal to this one. So this is what happens if you have 5 particular lines, a circle or anything. You apply a particular relation on it, and you apply dimension on one thing, and then everywhere it will be applied. For example, let me just make it more clear to you. If yes, let's draw a circle. So for example, I have like these circles. Okay, I want to give dimensions to all of them, the radius dimension. So one of the ways is I just go old school and provide dimensions to all of them, and I make everyone like a 0.24. If I want, I just type in, and I can keep on doing it. It will take a lot of time, but this is also a way. But a smarter way to do that is just you apply dimensions to one, that is 0.24. You go to add relation, and so you select all of your circles. Just click here, click here, click here, and you just click on equal, and you can see everything is made same. So relations gave us they gave us speed. You can work in much better way. You can always work with dimensions, but dimensions take time. So let's add few more relations, and select this line, select this line. These lines are collinear. These are going to be collinear. You're just done with it. So this is a symbol for collinear. You can, and if you want to delete a particular relation from a line, for example, if I want to delete this collinear, what you can do, you can just click on this little tiny icon. You can click on delete. It is getting deleted. And another way is to delete is just select the line, go to display, or just click here, and you can see the collinear is visible here. So you just click on delete here, and it will be get deleted. So I would recommend you to apply as much as possible relations, because relations make you work easy, and you can get away with lesser dimensions. And when your sketches doesn't need any dimension or relation, and there will be written a fully defined. So I'll be doing a quick sketch exercise in next section, so you will get all of the things which I'm saying. See you in the next section.